Hello! Hello, universe. And if you are listening on Star Epsilon 5, hello from 15 years ago. Welcome to the show. Meet the gang, because the boys are here. The boys to entertain, boys to entertain, boys to entertain you. We return once again. Let's get rid of the music. Like a second spike to entertain the masses, or at least both of our viewers. Yes, the show. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe. The show that's all about cars, motors, and petrol. If you're American, that's gasoline, is back. We have the car news that's not fit to print, that's been sent to us from the propaganda department within room 101 in the news. We'll be answering your motoring questions in the mailbag. And this week, it's perfectly smooth and bulging. And we head to the Far East for an imperial vehicle, or even an imperious vehicle, in our classic car selection. It is intriguing and inscrutable and slightly racist. And in Richard's take, I'm referring to myself in the third person again.
Person.
I'll be posing the question of whether we should be patriotic towards the car we buy or just buy the best car. Here's a man who drives a true European car, owned by the Germans, built by the British.
Built in Oxford.
The car, not him. Here's Simon.
Yes. Exactly. Yes, of course, I do drive a Mini with Union Jack on the top. You know, it's like on the rear tail lights as well. Yeah, that's Mini for you. Yeah, heading back to the BMW headquarters in Munich, no less. Yes, it's a show that likes to tell you how it is from the top front line of the motoring world. We are back with a vengeance. This week we have two amazing roads to tempt you back onto the blacktop that is our lost highway section of the programme, and we'll have a tip-top competition for you to win big in the show, as it's show 69. We're going for
Soixante.
Yes, we're going for the sexiest car of all time. So stay tuned. It's got sort of sexy pictures of cars and things like that. So it's all good. So stay tuned for that and more. I'm Simon Susan, and I want to taste you. But your lips are so venomous, poison. Your poison running through my veins. Your poison. I don't wanna break these chains.
Simon sued you on there, fan of Alice Cooper, who said he's not allergic to any vaccine, even a Russian one. Vaccine for you, no problem. What is it? Have you taken Sputnik 5 yet, or is Sputnik 5? I mean, Sputnik 1 might be a bit hard to get down the mouth.
Yeah, because that's like a satellite, wasn't it?
Satellite, yes. I'm Richard Green, and kids want a saviour. They don't need a fake. I want to be injected. We're all going to rock to the rules I make. I want to be injected. Alice Cooper's tribute to the healthcare system there. And I'm sending that out to our favourite lab rat, who is apparently called William Shakespeare.
Yes.
He is. This, of course, is Car-Boyz.
Car-Boyz.
Welcome, one and all. Time now on the show for My Take, Richard's Take. It's when I take a look at the world from mine own view, which can be often different from the norm, but will certainly be entertaining. As you're probably aware, here on My Take, we will give no quarter to the voice of the people or democracy, rather like the government here. The only voice you'll hear is the voice of the common man, and you couldn't get much more common than me. Hi, thank you all. This week on the show, final Brexit agreement is looming, maybe. I thought I'd take a look at whether it's a viable thing, a good thing, or a completely impractical thing to buy a British car to support the economy of this country. Now, this comes in light of the news that British car builder Grenadier is to build its new 4x4 in a former Mercedes plant in France, as opposed to a purpose-built factory in Bridgend, Wales. The Grenadier car, here it is basically a reimagined Land Rover Defender. Now that Land Rover have created the new Defender for 2020, which looks like something Japanese, the machine tools have been sold to Grenadier, who are creating a back-to-basics 4x4. I think the machine tools might have to come from Slovakia because they no longer make this in Solihull. But news in this week, Ineos Automotive, the vehicle division belonging to the British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe, has unfortunately confirmed that it's bought a car factory in Hambach in France from Mercedes-Benz and will start to build the Grenadier 4x4 in late 2021. So yes, French workers on this will have all the build quality of a usual French car. However, the deal unfortunately is a nail in the coffin for prospective jobs in South Wales, which had been the destination for the originally planned for the manufacturing of the utilitarian 4x4, which is being dubbed the spiritual successor to the Land Rover Defender, which to be honest, it's just a rebadged Defender, isn't it? The owner of the company has stated this isn't being done for Brexit reasons, honest, but instead to make use of a very modern factory. But does this make the car French? Even though it's a classic British design, reimagined by a British car owner. Is this still a British car? For that matter, if we're going on location, surely the assembly plants of Nissan in the northeast and Honda in Swindon make the Micra and the Civic British cars. Not really, but then what does make a true British car? As I've just mentioned, if you fancy driving a Nissan or a Honda, many of these are assembled in the UK. Likewise, Toyota Corolla is built in Derbyshire. All three companies are owned by the Japanese. But although Nissan is partly owned by, I think, Peugeot. Renault, sorry.
Yeah.
But does this matter anymore? Look at Land Rover and Jaguar, two iconic British brands owned by Indian Tata Motors, but manufacturing many of their motors in Halewood in Merseyside, Castle Bromwich or Solihull in the West Midlands. Then there's Bentley. Their new 4x4 Bentayga, that's out. It's being made in Crewe. They've made Bentleys in Crewe for the past 80 years, but the owners of the company are Volkswagen, a German company. And talking of the Germans, don't mention the war. No, the Mini, arguably the most iconic motor of all time, you own one, is being produced in Oxford at the Cowley Works on behalf of German owner BMW. So a German company making a car with Union Jack on the rear tail lights. Is this the way of the future? I'm afraid it is. Car companies are notoriously fickle. If they're in their success, and if a foreign investor can keep a car going, then all the better. Even companies that manage to hang on to their manufacturing, like Japan and Germany, have outsourced much of their manufacture to other countries. Every Honda Jazz you drive is assembled in Thailand. Many of the BMWs used are not made in Munich, Bavaria, they're made in Austria. And even a very small niche car manufacturer may not be exempt from this. Caterham cars are owned by a Malaysian company, and sports car maker Westfield and Morgan, who has a 110-year legacy, are owned by Italian investors. Well, for the moment anyway. So it sort of begs the question, companies are global entities. We need to think of brands in such manner and recognize, unfortunately, globalism. If you like it or not, you've no choice. It's the way of the future, despite the fact the UK is about to leave the European Union. Any thoughts, Simon?
Without getting all Ben Elton and political. So this is
political.
So this is Jim Ratcliffe, whose billionaire was a lever, back the Leave campaign.
Right.
Moving his factory to France. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It's a bit like Dyson, possibly. Yeah. Yes. So the manufacturing is just
all about this.
Completely broken. Not that we really manufacture anything anymore. But then it's not just that. It's also the parts as well, because parts will be subject to tariffs as well.
Yeah.
So things are just going to be more expensive. So we're not a manufacturing country anymore. So how are we going to do this? I don't understand it.
No, economies of scale, unfortunately, mean it is far too expensive to manufacture cars in this country. Now, many years ago, I lived in Malaysia, and they have two car companies. They have Proton and they have Produa. Heavily propped up by the government, they are struggling, and they have tariffs which put 150 to 200% import duty on cars that are not manufactured in Malaysia. But those car companies are struggling. Eventually, somebody like GM, somebody like Toyota will come in, close half the factories. It's very expensive to make profits out of making cars. And unfortunately, I think the cheapest labor in the world is probably China. That's where most of our cars are going to end up manufactured. Or we'll have what we've got at the moment, which is purely assembly plants in the UK. The parts come in on a ship, we assemble them, at least it provides jobs. Yeah, unfortunately, there is no manufacturing left. I mean, even, as I said, Morgan was the last company, I think it was last year, had to ask an Italian company to become investors. So, and you know, how Japanese are Honda? I mean, I know I'm assuming that the company's floated on the stock market. So it can be bought by anybody. You can buy shares in it from anybody from around the world. So.
Yeah, I think who knows? As I said, the next 3 weeks, who knows what's going to happen?
Yes, I'm not too worried about it. We'll still be here. Shall we do some news?
Yes, let's do some news.
Hang on, I've got to find the news music. It's my children have been messing around with my my iPhone here. It seems to have disappeared. Ah, here we go.
First off, in not driving home for Christmas news, the roads are said to be much quieter over the Christmas period, according to early predictions from the AA here in the UK. Last week, the roads were still pretty busy, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, they were busy this week. It's been horrendous, and my commute's
Yes.
been a nightmare.
Yeah. Far fewer motorists intend to drive this year, despite the 5 days of freedom to allow families to get together and
You say
celebrate
that.
and spread all their COVID everywhere, according to a poll from the motoring group, which measures traffic levels and predicts some journey volumes suggests. It estimates that 24% of drivers are planning a trip in the car between the 18th of December and the 4th of January. I'd have thought so, yeah. That's quite a big period. That equates to just 7.9 million motorists. That's around 10 million less than in 2019. Half of the drivers said they're not planning a car journey over the festive season whatsoever because they are choosing to go by sleigh. However, 29 no, didn't
Ho
say
ho
that.
ho.
29% said that they were undecided and may be tempted to head out onto roads for the festive days of freedom from tiered restrictions operating between the 23rd and the 27th of December. For the 24% of drivers who said they were planning a journey by car over the 5-day restriction break for Christmas, almost half will be travelling on Christmas Eve, making this. Are you eating? What are you doing?
Top of my pen.
Oh, I see. This will be on Christmas Eve, making this unsurprisingly the busiest day on the roads this month. Based on polls finding, some 3.8 million journeys are expected to be made on the 24th of December. The AA also predicts that Sunday the 19th of December will be the busiest day for shopping traffic, so don't do it on that day.
Okay.
With a fifth of drivers estimating to hit the high streets, not that they can park anywhere, to get their final items for Christmas dinner and gifts for loved ones.
Okay, right. Who shops in a shop anymore?
Exactly.
I mean, all this is done since March is make me go, yeah, Amazon, oh,
Yeah,
eBay.
makes more sense. Yeah.
I hate shopping anyway. It is a pain in the backside. I go to the supermarket on behalf of my family, and that's all I do. There you go.
Yeah, everything can be bought online. That's pretty
Everything
much.
can be bought online.
Yeah.
And unlike Chris Rea's song, "Nobody's Driving Home for Christmas."
Do, do,
I
do,
must
do, do,
mention we
do,
have a
do.
sponsor for the show today. It's
Yes.
Brexit Brew.
Ooh.
Brexit Brew. It's a very arguably un-European taste, and I'm told to say it contains an unknown quantity of fish caught in European waters as well. So, Brexit Brew, treat yourself to that. Meanwhile, in other news, moving from I don't go shopping. Is it just me? I just don't go shopping. I go Amazon, eBay,
Yeah.
online.
Yeah. So much
Sorry.
easier.
Yeah, I hate going shopping. It's horrendous. And you're right, you can't park anywhere. Meanwhile, in Now's the Time to Buy a New Car news, car dealers in England are set to offer big discounts on popular mainstream models this month as they reopen their doors from today following the second national lockdown. The showroom's forced to revert to online sales and click and collect services over the last month. UK car registrations look on course to just break 1.5 million units in 2020. That's down from 2.3 million last year. With the pandemic pounding car sales in 2020, there'll be a drive in December for manufacturers to shift as much tin as possible to bulk out their end-of-year figures. As a result, market research suggests dealerships will offer discounts of almost 7% on new 70-plate models. Britain's biggest car discounts, drumroll, for December have been revealed by What Car, who actually have journalists, unlike this programme, as part of its target price mystery shopper analysis. That must have been fun. It's calculated that the average discount in December is 6.6%, which equates in cash to almost £3,000. However, some cars will be subject to more substantial reductions than others. The biggest, most impressive deal, more than a fifth off the price, is the new petrol-powered Volkswagen family car. Here you go. Here's a picture of it, which is a quite sweet-looking Volkswagen Passat SE nav specification with a 1.5-litre STI engine. I guess that's got the turbo in it. Available a 22% cash saving from dealers.
Wow.
£5,000 off that. Meanwhile, for wind in your hair, you'll like this, Simon. For wind in your hair driving, you can save 13% on this Mini convertible with a 2-litre. It's a 2-litre Cooper. God, that's going to go like shit off a shovel, isn't it? 2-litre Cooper S engine, classic 2s trim. That's 3,258 off the £26,000 asking price. Wow.
I walk by when I do my walk and my exercise, my government endorsed exercise.
Yes.
I do go past the Mini dealership and often look in there. So
Wind.
yes, yeah.
So you would like to do a little bit of a wind in your hair driving?
No, see the problem is no hair. So what happens is
Ah,
it
oh, that's
gets
what
burnt.
I meant. Oh, yeah, of course you get burned.
Yes.
Singular hair, as in one. Um,
Yes.
the problem is this sort of thing works in cold countries. I mean, it
Yes.
works in the UK. I had a former boss of mine in Bangkok, got a bonus one year, decided to go out and buy himself a big fat Mercedes soft top,
Mm,
and he got into a traffic jam on the highway with the roof down and suddenly realized that A, his bald head was getting burnt, and B,
yes.
he was breathing in all the lovely smog of Bangkok traffic.
Mm.
So he hung on to it for a bit and then went and bought a car with a roof
And some sun cream.
and some sun cream.
Oh dear, yes, I do have that problem. Moving on, and in Sliding Home for Christmas, Chris Rere's probably would make a lot of money out
He
of this.
has, if we actually paid any royalties to
Exactly.
him, yeah.
Porsche has broken the Guinness World Record for the longest drift in an electric vehicle. If you didn't think that was possible, it is. The German car maker's instructor, Dennis Retrea, completed 210 laps, going round and round on a 656-foot drift circle without the front wheels ever pointing in the same direction of the curve. Can you imagine the skid marks from that? The Taycan hit the previous milestone. It has a record for a 24-hour endurance run over 2,128 miles on a high-speed test track. This car did it in 55 minutes while traveling sideways in a Porsche Taycan, covering a total of 26 miles. It's a high-speed test track in Nardo, and the best time in its class of 7 minutes 42 on the Nürburgring Nordschleife in Germany, which is the full, I think it's 18 miles, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
The record-breaking event took place at Porsche's Hockenheimring Centre, which is set up there with this roundabout thing. The event was also achieved under the supervision of Guinness World Records official judge Joanne Brent, not Norris McWhirter, or Roy Castle, who has witnessed
Dedication.
a number of record attempts over the past
Dedication.
few years. She must be so bored of.
She must be so bored of what? You broke up then. What did you say?
She was the drifting champion in 2018 and
Yes.
2019. Actually,
Right, we've got Simon breaking up. I'm not sure what's happening to Simon. You've got, oh, there he's back. He's back with
yay!
us. I don't know what you broke up then.
It's probably interweb connection.
Interweb connection. No, we had you. You said that she was. Yeah, you said that she was previously the champion in 2018, 2019.
Yes, and she was checking that it was a drift record. We also have some drift records with the electric sports car and something very special for us too. Here in Porsche has done a real pioneering work, Brent said. The Guinness expert watched from the sidelines as Rattray travelled around the course 210 times and obviously came out afterwards feeling sick.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's real groundbreaking. Basically, you lock the wheel, pump the gas, and tune into your favourite radio station. Is that? There might be a bit more to it than that,
Yeah.
but the only thing I was just thinking about the Nurburgring.
Yes.
Where do you get those stickers that people put on the back of their cars? Now, the cars that I see it on are things like 1.4 Vauxhall Astras
Yes.
and Kia Prides.
And you think there's no way that would ever
No.
make it round the Nürburgring.
Well, if it does, it's going to get lapped.
Yes, there is one I have seen. Funny you say that. There is one I have seen. It's the outline of the M25.
Oh, that's
So
quite funny.
if you've done a lap of the M25, you
Brilliant.
get one of those.
Yes, we've done that many. I've done it in stages.
Okay.
Not the whole thing. Yeah, I just don't understand why you would want that on a very. And it's not a
On a
brand.
shit
It's not
car.
like the Vauxhall Astra Nürburgring, is it?
Nürburgring.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's somebody's bought a shit sticker.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the baby on board stickers, which I get that you need.
Mm.
because if you're in a crash, they can see there's a baby on board. And I had one when our two were really small. But I really hate the ones with the little cool kid. You know, he's got
Oh
a
yeah, with the
beanie
glasses and the
and a
hat.
beanie
Yeah,
hat on. That would make me
yeah.
want to leave him in the back of the car if it's on fire. I'm sorry.
Baby left behind, not baby on
Yeah,
board.
he looks like he's going to end up in a young offenders institute anyway. Finally, in faster than a speeding bullet news, you may remember last week on the show we featured a news story about a woman who had 68 points on her license but was still allowed to drive. The maximum allowed in the UK is usually 12 unless there are extenuating circumstances, and that is a Gatso camera. Well, news in this week about a BMW driver on the M6 who racked up, wait for it, 107 points in one journey.
One journey.
One journey. The uninsured driver earned more than 100 penalty points after setting off 32, I did say 32 speed cameras at an average speed of 83 miles an hour in a 60-mile-an-hour zone. The motorist was stopped in a white BMW. This is his car. He was stopped in this white BMW between junction 14 and 15 on the M6 in Stoke-on-Trent. Speeding through a stretch of 60-mile-an-hour roadworks at 83 miles an hour, he activated 32 speed cameras. Police also discovered the car had two worn tyres. Well,
Really? Let me guess, were they the rear tyres, possibly?
Yes, I'd imagine they are. 32 speeding offences could land him 96 points on his licence. Having worn tyres is another 3 points and no insurance between 6 and 8. A total of 107. I'm guessing he doesn't really care. If he's doing all that, he doesn't really care anyway.
Pretty much.
How many licence on your points do you have, or are you very?
How many points on my license?
Yes.
License on my points.
How many licenses on your points?
I have none. I'm
no
clean.
Points.
No.
You're clean, really?
I have no prizes for those points. No.
Well, that's fantastic. I am currently, let me think, currently pointless, which many people say. Yeah, that I am pointless. Yes, no points. I did have 3, and the wife had 3, and then I just calmed down a bit, and it went away. I was doing quite a hefty speed and I got the guy with the gun.
Okay.
So that was a big fine. It was 3 points, but it was a big fine, and I had to go and do a producer as well, which is a pain in the backside.
Ooh.
I've learnt my lesson now, and now I drive with fake plates. I'm only joking.
Has, Your Honor.
Yes, if you are listening, this cannot be used.
It's a French number plate.
Yes, with my French accent, I've got the little James Bond thing. I just press a button and it goes. Some fake.
Does oil come out on the back as well?
Oh yes, and a little screen. You can't shoot bullets in it. It's everything. Out of the on my DB5, a little spike comes up like this.
Out the wheels.
Like Bodicea style, and it goes into the it's usually smart cars. I try and do it. Gee whizzes. A news update before we end the news, which is about to end. I saw today, I went and had a COVID test, which who knows, might have it, might not. We had, I saw a Tata Nano.
Ooh.
I know. Ooh. What is a Tata Nano doing in the UK?
I was probably one of the only ones.
I was near a film studio, so I'm wondering whether they were filming something that was supposed to be set in India. It was definitely a Tata Nano. It looked horrible. And I don't know how you got it on UK license plates, because I thought they were, anyway. Yeah. India's finest car I saw today, which was Tata. And talking of news from the East and cars from the East, it's time for our classic car selection. It is indeed. Thank you, band. The jazz band are still with us. Yes, time now on the show for the classic car selection. It's where we take a car that's been overlooked for too many years. It's not a section of the show where you'll find a Rolls Royce or an Aston Martin or even a Ferrari, but what you will find are classic and future classic cars that you may have never considered buying, but now may be taking up space in your garage or driveway. This week, we go to the Far East and we're saying arigato to the Emperor's very own mode of transport. The most opulent car this side of the rising sun. Yes, it's the Toyota Century. And the country, of course, is Japan. First released in 1967 to mark the 100th anniversary of the birth of the founder of Toyota Industries, Sakichi Toyoda. And I did say Toyota, not Toyota. The car has become the byword for quality and luxury at the very top elite within Japan, regarded by locals as the as the Mercedes 600. I was going to say Rolls-Royce, the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, and the Cadillac 70 series. Introduced in 67, of course, the Toyota Century as only one minor upgrade in 1997, which took the engine from a V8 to a V12.
Oh,
Look
hidden
at
away
that.
under that plastic, though.
Under the plastic, I'm afraid. You are not supposed to work on this. This is the Emperor's car. It's got a 5-litre capacity. I know this is a Toyota car. This is very different from either its baby brother, the Crown, or its sister brand, Lexus. The Century's current engine was especially made for it and doesn't feature in any other Toyota. It's a 5-litre, 48-valve, as I said, V12 with variable valve timing. I'll give you a look, but there's not a great deal to look at. It just does take up most of the engine compartment. And it produces quite a small 300 horsepower, and the engine transmits its power to the wheels via a 6-speed automatic gearbox, and that is to the rear wheels. This is a cruiser. This is not a speedy car. The build quality of the Toyota Century is superb, and attention to detail is everywhere. The quality of the paint is outstanding. It's very, very deep. It's super smooth, like many other aspects of the car. You can tell this thing has been finished by hand, and I gather they only make a couple of hundred of them every year. It's a Toyota. The build quality is superb. You'd expect that, and yes, it looks like the Japanese ambassador should be driven around in this car, but that's not what's extraordinary about this car. What is extraordinary to me is the interior. This is unlike anything else you could buy on the luxury market. There are no leather seats on side. Instead of leather, you have no vinyl, you have no cloth. The seats are wool. Wool is warm. Wool doesn't let water ingress, and in the summer, it doesn't burn you either. Then there's the other touches. Weird lace curtains around the back and the side windows, so that a man who is being wafted down the road in the back of the car can relax in style, be he the captain of Japanese industry or head of the Yakuza. He's also the man who's in control of everything. A DVD player in the rear, aircon from a panel between the two seats. Also, when you sit back, and you can see this, you can control the positions of the seats in front, which brings me to the piece de resistance, or the piece of resistance, as I like to say. The piece de resistance. From the back, you can recline your rear seat all the way back and electronically push the front passenger seat all the way forward. You open a small door in that seat, push your legs through so you can stretch your legs out and have a little sleep while your driver takes you to that important business meeting. Not that this car is just to be chauffeured around. To drive these very capable cars, you can achieve, which I think is amazing, 24 mpg combined city and highway.
That's
very good for such a monster. The thing also has the biggest boot in the world. You could get the bodies of 3 Yakuza rivals in there. But what I really like is there is nothing like this on the planet. It is not a car designed by a focus group. It is a car designed by a group of people who've got luxury and quality in mind above all else. I also think it looks rather weird. It's a strange vehicle. It could be Bruce Wayne's weekend car when he isn't being Batman. You'll certainly stand out more than the Mercedes S-Class and much more than the Audi A8. So, what to look for? Well, you're in trouble here because they're rare as hen's teeth. They're made 200 a year, and they're only imported to the UK via the Japanese grey import market. So they were never exported here. Prices range from about 5k for a 20-year-old model to 20k for a 7-year-old one in good nick with low miles, which could easily be a daily driver. In terms of what's good and what's bad, it's a Toyota. They will be made to last more than 50 years. So they're all good. We found this one, 2006 model, from London, 60,000 miles on the clock, some service history in English, some in Japanese, A1 condition, £12,000. Heck of a lot of car for not a lot of money. So why not look east and say, hi, onegashimasu to the Toyota Century.
What does that mean?
I think it means, yes, can I have one, please?
It is. It's a beast of a car, isn't it?
It's amazing. Oh, you can see on this one as well, it's got at the front, it has the little silver thing, so you can put your flag on there. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see that. I do see that.
It is huge.
Presidential.
It's very presidential. I love it. I think it's insane.
It would be really unique driving that around.
Nobody else
Absolutely.
is going to have one of these things. I, in fact, saw the reason I was inspired to do this is because last Saturday I took the kids to the supermarket, and in the car park was a Toyota Crown Estate in white, and the kids were like, "I don't think it
What
looks
is
like."
that?
My children, and they're 5 and 7, went, "Dad, what's this? This is a really weird looking car, blacked out windows, definitely a Japanese grey
Yeah.
import, which this will be as well."
Yeah.
But I think it's such an unusual car, and of course it has the classic Japanese wing mirrors, huge wing mirrors on the always mounted, not on the door pillar, but on or the door, always mounted on the front bonnet. In fact, I think
Yeah.
on the older models they're almost mounted almost where the front lights are, which you used to
Ah,
see in cars in the
yeah.
UK way back in the 60s and
60s.
70s. Yeah,
Yeah.
my grandfather had a Hillman Hunter with the lights in bronze all the way on the front, on the wings.
But
They
that's
don't make them
very
anymore.
effective on the wings. Can you actually see anything on the wings?
Well, yes, they are. The problem is, in the old days, you had to get out and adjust it, and get out and adjust it. But these are because it's
Electric.
got, yeah, they're
Yeah.
all electric. I just hear good things, and it's a Toyota. I think
Yeah.
the paint on this thing is so many kilograms. I think the paint on this thing is like 90 kilograms.
Yeah.
So it's a heck of a car. I think it's
Mm.
wonderful. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. I am 12K, not a lot. What are you going to
Mm.
get for 12K? Is going to get you what, a 2015 Honda Accord,
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
3 Series, 4-door 3
Yeah.
Series. A bit boring.
Respectable with 24 mpg
Which I
combined.
think, yeah,
Super.
is
Yeah.
very
For a
eh, and
V12.
I expect I would have to have. I would go to the shop and buy many flags to put on
Flags.
there. Okay, I'm going to be the Sri Lankan ambassador today.
I would text you. Who are you this week, Rich?
I would also think if you did buy this car, then you should go and get yourself a little flat cap when you drive it around. I wonder if you could go through places as well. Do you know what I mean? Could you
Yeah.
like go past? Oh, it's the ambassador. Be very careful, especially if you change the license plates to
Yeah.
contain a D in them. If you went to get some Northern Irish plates on there,
Some
and
diplomatic immunity.
diplomatic immunity, Mr. Riggs. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. If my ship comes in before Christmas, currently it's the Titanic. Yes, we may be purchasing one of those. I've got my eye on it. It is in London. Right, should we have some Lost
Fantastic.
Highways?
Yes, let's have to bring the band back in.
Here they are. Thank you, Ben.
It is the Lost Highways. Now, this is our feature where listeners email us in and give us their favourite roads and the reasons why they love them. It could be a quite coastal road that leads down to the sea. Alternatively, it could be a straight 2-lane blacktop that leads to infinity and invites you to go on the pedal to the metal. Whatever your poison is, let us know your perfect driving roads here on Car-Boyz. What is the details, Rich? They can get hold of
Oh,
us
hang on.
on.
I've got to get the coffee stained. There we go.
I have one as well. There you go. On the right
Email
side.
car-boys, boys with a Z at outlook.com. Facebook with car-boys, boys with a Z at car-boys, 4 Zs, always with a Z. Twitter, car-boys with a Z at car_boys with a Z. Instagram at car_boys with 3 Zs on.
And doing so this week is Nadia in Waterloo. She says, "Dear Car-Boyz, I've been listening to your show for a while now."
I have a
Thank you very
question.
much.
I have a question before
Yes,
you start.
yes.
Waterloo here or
Uh,
Waterloo, Belgium?
I don't know. She hasn't said, but she says Waterloo. Maybe
Okay.
it was on the email. She could have been on the
Train
train,
to Waterloo in
like
Belgium.
messaging.
Ah, okay. Just saying, because Waterloo Station in London is named
Yeah,
after the
yeah,
Battle of Waterloo,
yeah.
and I've been to the village of Waterloo
Uh,
in Belgium, and I didn't find ABBA there. I was very disappointed. I apologise. Please continue.
Either way, she says she's been listening to the show for a while, and her favourite road is in her native Bulgaria. The Belcamento Pass is a sensational drive in the Balkan Mountains. The Belcamento Pass is known as the Trojan Pass, which goes through the mountains at an elevation of around 5,000 feet above sea level. Now, the pass is traversed by the Road 35, which I'm guessing is their main road. The pass connects Trojan and Karin
Don't ask me. I'm not Bulgarian, I guess. Yeah.
And the Karlovo Plain, the name of the region, has Turkish origins and means God. Oh, there you go. On the summit, there's a ski resort, if you like that
Nice.
sort of thing. The pass is one of the main roads connecting the northern and southern areas of Bulgaria. The roadway quality here is excellent, she says, on the highways and freeways, but at the same time, there are some roads where asphalt has not been renewed since the time of socialism. Oops.
Oh dear.
Of course, this affects the ability to travel without problems. However, some people even like it because it introduces some element of extreme to the ordinary auto tourism. She ends by saying, beware, they're effectively toll roads and your car needs a sticker called the vignette in the window and a stamped receipt in your car documentation, which can be bought at post offices, kiosks, borders, or gas stations.
I'm sort of confused about this. Sorry, I'm being joined by the family at the moment. I'm sort of confused. So she's Bulgarian.
Yes.
She emailed in. She could have emailed in from Waterloo. It's a very European show, this, isn't it? And of course, the famous Battle of Waterloo, where the British defeated the French. It looks good. I've driven some driving in Eastern Europe a long time ago, and it was very, very quiet. And that looks nice. Nice, quiet road. Bulgaria, I hear good things because the beer is very cheap and the people are very friendly. So that could be a good holiday and cheap place to go skiing then.
Yes, apparently, because if there's a mountain on top of that. So, yeah,
perfect.
I guess so.
Meanwhile, we've got a local boy. Neil from Richmond-on-Thames says, "Dear Car-Boyz, I hope you're keeping well. I've experienced a great lost highway in Sri Lanka. The Cultural Triangle is an area in the northern district of Sri Lanka. There's a picture. The place to see are the architectural remains of a rock-top fortress and ancient temples. You start at Colombo." Nothing to do with the detective or Candy.
One more thing.
One more thing before I go. First destination is the ancient city of Anuradhapura, where you can visit the ancient body tree or the giant Dagobah in the Dagobah system. If you're lucky enough to be around on Poya Day, you can join the worshippers that go there to celebrate the full moon, and you can show them your full moon. After spending a night at Anuradhapura or Habaranara, let me get it right. Habaranara.
Yeah.
Habaranara. I did Habaranara. Habaranara. Drive back to This is great. Thanks for giving me this. Drive back to Polonnaruwa and visit the temples there. Check out the giant Buddha statue that was featured in a Duran Duran video in the 80s. They're looking around. They probably sell Duran Duran t-shirts there, don't they? Fantastic. In the evening, drive to the Sigiriya Lion Rock, climb to the top and see the remains of an old fortress that used to belong to the ancient Kandyan king. Wasn't that a song? The Kandyan King. No, the King Kandyan. Spend the night in Sigiriya and drive back to Kandy or Colombo or Bergerac.
Or Cagney Lacey.
Or Kojak. Or do the mountain roads trip. It looks booming lovely, doesn't it, Sri Lanka?
It does.
I've never been.
Misty as well.
I hear good things. The food is very, very hot in Sri Lanka. And if you are a beer drinker, the Sri Lankans love stout. They love Guinness.
Really?
Yes. They have their very own brand of Sri Lankan Guinness, which apparently is superb.
Nice.
So get your backside over to Sri Lanka. I also hear it's a bit more mellow than there's all the stuff. If you want to get email us to a show and show us your favourite driving roads. I'm
guessing the drink's mellow and the people are mellow.
The people are mellow. It's quite a clean place to live as well. It's sort of together. And if you like surfing, the surfing is great. Although, yes, the tsunami wasn't very good for the people of Sri Lanka in 2004. But that aside, the surfing is superb. One day I will make my way over to Sri Lanka and ride elephants and have all sorts of fun. Right now, though, it's time for. Hang on a second. Here we go. I've got to get them. I should have got the music up. Yeah, we have fantastic music. Here we go. Back by popular request on the show. It is the turd of the week. It's where we get viewers to send in pictures of the worst car they've ever seen, and we show it off to the world. It could be a Ford Fiesta, Popular Plus, with a huge exhaust pipe and dump valves and a K&R air filter. It could be a Vauxhall Cavalier covered in rust. With a rear bumper gaffer taped on. Whatever the car you think can ascend the mound of feces to be crowned, polished. Third on the wheeze. Please send us your pictures. I know we had the American National Anthem there for some reason. This week. Oh, it never gets old, does it, really?
No.
Fantastic. No. It's quite tuneful. I like when they change key. This week I should say, Terry in Doncaster says, "All right, Car-Boyz, how do?" You're supposed to be doing this. Sorry.
I know.
Sorry, I'll let you carry on. He's listen. Sorry, I apologise. Oh, sorry. He says he found a vehicle that he thinks deserves to be crowned Turd of the Week. Last summer, he was working on a contract job in Bournemouth. He had problems with his car, so he was recommended a local mechanic, and he's found this monstrosity in the driveway. Of course, a Mark I Ford Fiesta XR2 with non-standard blue racing wheels, matching decals, and horrendous wheel arches. Fiberglass, we think. It's probably got the Kent engine, which was good. It was 1.6, very light, but this has been modified beyond belief. The wheel arches are about an inch off. Let's take a look at those wheel arches. They're about an inch off. Look at that. They're about an inch off the bodywork. He looks like he's cut that with a Stanley knife. Perfect for getting mud in there. Apparently, it was.
Have they been riveted on?
I think they've been riveted on, haven't they? That hasn't been welded on. Perfect for getting mud in there. Apparently, it was quite rusty around the sills as well. Look at the state of this. Has it got what's it? Has it? Oh no! Look on the bonnet. He's got the things to stop the bonnet popping open.
Yes, the clips.
Yeah, for God's sake. Terry said the interior was in a terrible condition, very ratty, and apparently the owner also owns the boat next to it. The mechanic said the car was in for a new exhaust. Our polished turd of the week goes to Terry and his find in Christchurch, Bournemouth, the Mark I Ford Fiesta. It's our polished turd of the week.
I don't know if you can see it. Ooh.
Go on.
I don't know whether you can see this, but can you see the size of those mirrors?
Oh, they're tiny. What's the deal there?
I can see what they're trying to do. So the dark blue and the light blue is the old Ford Motorsport colours. Okay. That's why it's gone for that. But this is a mess. Absolute mess.
It's horrendous. Look how awful it's been cut round there. I mean, you could get your hand in that gap between the fairing at the front and the wheel arch. Yeah. I mean, it's just disgusting. I forgot though. We used to fill these up around the back.
Oh, at the bottom, yeah.
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 What a nightmare that was to get that.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
What a horrendous car. Well done, Terry.
He's also removed the door lock as well. So he's gone for the door lock as well.
And it looks like he's got some sort of scaffolding in the back just in case the thing turns over.
Oh, my word.
For their time, that was a lovely little car. They are a fast, very basic. There's a purist car, the XR2 in this. Didn't the bonnets fold up?
Yes, they come the opposite way. Yeah.
So, which you very rarely see on British cars.
Yeah.
Then or now, that was always a sign of quality in a car. The bonnet folding the other way, and it's a sign actually of a mechanic's car, because because to work on it, it's much better for it to fold up at the front, so you can get as much light in as possible, and you can actually almost get yourself into the car to do any work you need to.
Forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Look at that horrendous piece of turd. Yes,
it really is a turd.
I think it's probably worth a bit of money, but just get all that crap off the side, really. And I'd strip it back. I'd go and find myself I'd take that back to almost a factory original. I'd leave the scaffolding, tart up the inside, take all that stupid fairing off, redo the panels on the side, and the whole thing needs a respraying. You want a nice colour on that, so maybe a Rosso red.
I cannot believe the size of those wing mirrors. Absolutely unbelievable. That is a total turd.
Yes. One more.
I'd be worried about his boat as well.
And one more. Go on. There we go.
Ooh.
That was a more.
There you go. If you've got a suggestion, send us in, Facebook us, email us, all those details.
Please do. Yes. Now I need to get some more music ready to go. Here we go. And over to Simon.
It's time, of course, the show to delve into the bulging sack that is known locally as the mailbag. And this week, as always, as you said, it's smooth and overflowing.
I feel very medieval. I feel like I'm going to get, I don't know, the plague or something when I listen to that music.
You'll catch something, I'm not sure what, but you'll catch something. Yes. Keith says, hello, Car-Boyz. Hope you're good. Yes, we are. He's from Nottingham. It's quite a strange show. We've got some people that are like European, and we've got some northern people on the
That's
show.
all right.
So, he's from Nottingham, and he wants to buy a new car. Sorry. And his wife, for his wife in the new year, he has 3 boys and needs, hopefully they're not the wife. No, it's the boys, his children. He needs something small but big. Keith, I don't know what you're on. If that doesn't sound like a contradiction in terms, I don't know what is. He has a budget of between £3,000 and £3,500. So he wants something small but big.
I know what he's saying. He wants something that he can get 3 boys in, and it's boys, so it'll be footballs, bikes. Yeah, it's a bit of a contradiction in terms, but I assume it's for his wife to drive, and his wife's not happy driving a big car. Few options. First one, this is definitely small, but it's the Vauxhall Mariva. So it's not a great car, but 46 on the clock, full service history, 1.4 petrol engine. This one was 2011. You can take 3 adults in the back comfortably. Big-ish boot, not massive boot. But the best thing about this, it's got suicide doors. So the doors at the back, yes, it has suicide doors. So getting in and out of the car is a lot easier. £3,400, only one owner.
Kids would love that.
Kids would like the suicide. I like the suicide doors on that. I have a brother-in-law who has 2 kids, but he's got a lot. He runs a business where he coaches football for children as well. So he needs lots of space. Now, I've driven this car, and I thought it was quite good. It's a Kia Sedona 2.9 CDR. 34 on the clock. This had full service history, 2008, 2 owners. Now, there is space in the back for 4. I think you also had the option to have seats in the boot with this car. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-seater. Reliable. It's not that slow. The one I drove was not that slow, and it didn't feel like a people carrier. It felt like just a small car. It didn't feel any family car. It felt like you were driving a Honda Civic. That is a really super reliable car, and there's huge amounts of space. There's so much so when I moved house to the house I'm in currently, he came down the weekend before and helped me do a lot of the moving with this car. So I was quite impressed with that.
It's quite versatile then.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit of a van. His is an auto, and it's great. It's such an easy car. It's not going to last forever. What do you expect for £3,000? You're not going to get much of a car, but that's what I go for. Ian emails from Rotherham. He says, all right, lads, hope you're both good. Love the show. Owns a 1980 Mark V Ford Cortina.
Love these. My dad had one of these.
My dad had one of those. Yeah, my dad. No, oh God, in beige. My dad had it in Rosso red. It's that classic Ford Italian colour.
Yeah, ours was Cordoba beige. It was called Cordoba beige. It gave it exotic name. Still beige.
Still beige. I bet it was. I think my dad's was a brown velour interior.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Full speed. Now he's owned this for 6. It's a solid car because they've got the Ford Pinto engine, and I know the Ford Pinto is derided in America, but the Pinto engine was a solid engine, and it's loved in the UK. Now this is his first classic car. It's in good nick. He'd like some advice. The car sounds and looks great, but the handling feels a little off. He often gets the feeling the back of the car is moving or slipping while driving. What do you think?
Cortinas, of course, were rear-wheel drive, but if it's a bit stodgy, it's clearly suspension. There's something wrong with suspension on that.
That sounds like rear signs of the rear could be worn suspension bushes. Poly replacements will be huge improvement if you go down that route, making the car more predictable in corners. And if he's got a good one, hang on to it because they are only appreciating. A lot of these rusted away, and if you see you're lucky to see one out on the roads. It's a classic British car.
Yeah.
And everybody's dad had one. Now they're
Yeah.
as rare as hen's teeth. But I say that the rust is the problem in the UK. It eats these things away.
They were nicknamed the Dagenham Dustbin, and also you may see this is a little crap for trivia fact for you.
Hmm.
The lights on these were exactly the same design as the Ford Orion, which came out
Oh
after it,
yes,
which is why you might see some Cortinas with Orion lights.
wicked. Why not? Why not?
There you go.
Indeed.
There you go. Deborah 342836. You can contact her on that number. Emails.
Just saying.
Oh yes, 342836. Okay.
Always thinking, Simon. Always thinking.
She contacted the show before.
Uh,
She emails in from Belgium, so it could be
That's
Waterloo.
your picture. Yeah, go
Okay.
on.
Bonjour, Car-Boyz. She says she lives in Levren,
Leuven. Leuven.
Leuven, where they make Stella Artois or Stella Artois, but don't hold that against her. Well, we can go off on so many tangents. This is show
Yeah, we could.
69 after all.
Yeah, yeah.
She needs to buy another car. Her 2001. Oh, you do have my sympathy. You have a 2001 Renault Twingo, which finally ceased working, and she'd like a very small car. She only commutes 5 minutes each way to work. What? She has €3,000 to spend. What should she buy? They do a newer Renault Twingo, don't they?
Yes,
I
they
don't know how
do.
much those are.
We found. I haven't got the picture now. I don't know where the picture's gone, but we found one in Ghent.
Oh,
For
okay. Yeah.
€3,100, 38,000 on the clock. Renault Twingo 1.2. It's quite a pokey little engine, 16 valve, 2 owners. The newer Twingos
Yeah,
look slightly better than the one from
the
2001.
bug-eyed one.
Yeah, which was the bugger one. The new ones look okay. It's look. What do you want me to say? It's a Renault. It's a Renault. It's
Comme ci,
fine.
comme ça.
It'll work. If you want to go for maybe Korean, how about this one? 2012 Kia Picanto 1.1 litre engine, 44 on the clock, 2 owners, €3,200 in Etterbeek, Brussels. Very reliable Kia Korean car. Very boring. Up to you. I mean, really, if you drive a Twingo, go and buy another Twingo. Why not?
They do some sporty versions of the Picanto. I have been looking at them going,
Okay, I'm not sure you're going to get it for €3,000.
Yes, I know, but I'm just looking at it going,
Yeah, so that's it. Finally, Stevie from London says, hello, Car-Boyz. He works for the British government. Oh, I thought, hang on, we could be in trouble here when I
Should he
open
be
this
telling
email.
us that?
Yes.
Okay.
He recently worked in Iran. I wonder if he drove an Aston Martin. No, I think he was teaching. I was teaching in Iran. That's
Okay.
what he said he was doing in Iran. Meanwhile, I was at the missile base. He's
Training the Secret Service.
training the Secret Service in how to say Scotland without a lisp. He sent a picture of this weird car. He said, "What is this?" He kept seeing them around when he was out there. What is the brand? Is it available in Europe? In a word, no. The brand is called the Iran Khodro, as IKCO is the acronym. It's an Iranian automaker headquartered in Tehran. The company's original name was ICO, founded in 1962, produces over 500,000 passenger cars each year. It manufactures vehicles including the Samand, the Peugeot, the Renault. It does trucks, it does minibuses. So I think it's got the rights to make
So they've
these
got
cars.
licenses, yeah.
Licenses to make these cars. We think that this is the Samand LX, which is basically a rebadged Peugeot 405. So if you like
Okay.
this, just go and buy an old Peugeot 405.
Yeah, might as well.
The badge on the front is, I don't know what that is.
Is it a thumbs down? It's a thumbs down, look.
I think it's Iran, isn't it? Isn't it the shape of Iran? Or is it a lion's head? A thumbs down. That's definitely a thumbs down from us. So next time you're going, Stevie, to Iran to be a teacher, why don't you go and see if you can hire one? And then you could do a VT and you could tell us all about it. Tell us what it's like to drive. Yeah.
Yes, if you can, if you want to make videos, send them in
Well,
to us. We can
we
post them up on
could
the
post them.
site.
That's one. And actually, letters, if you want to get them on, it's the usual stuff. Car-Boys at outlook.com, Facebook Car-Boys at Car-Boys with all the Zs, Twitter Car-Boys at car_boys with a Z, Instagram at Car-Boys. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. We got some music. Oh yeah, because it's we haven't got that music. That's the Irish music. We could have some Irish music. Hello there. It's competition time now on the show. Why are we playing this music?
Dun, 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 dun. Of course. Thank you all. It is, of course, Car-Boyz quiz time, and we're back this week. Since it's show 69, matron, we thought we'd go for a little autoerotica. In my research, though, this week, there were too many websites dedicated to dogging. So instead, no, seriously, in my research, that's what was happening. So instead, we'll be turning ourselves to the sexiest cars of all time.
Oh, good.
The cars were compiled by the giant poll. Ooh, I say.
Giant poll. What's her name? Magda. She's a big girl.
Bit hairy.
She's from Warsaw. She's a lovely lass.
According to
she used to work down at the docks. Go on, sorry, I do apologise.
They would publish their 50th sexiest cars of all time. Our contestant this week is Richard from Southwest London. Hello. Now, Richard, did you know there was a dogging society in your area?
No, I did not know. Really?
There seriously is.
Really? Wow. Is this the Surrey Dogging Society?
Pretty much so. Yes, I didn't expect you to know that. This week, you're playing four.
We must, people internationally, we need to explain what dogging means. So
we don't need to.
Do we all get the channel? Will we lose our money if we explain that it's basically people meeting up in car parks?
Yes.
And having sex in their cars. It's nothing to do with walking your dog or being appreciative of dogs. It's literally groups of people meeting in car parks and having sex.
There is. I was going to do that as the quiz, but no, I thought I wouldn't name and shame the areas. Okay. And this week you are playing for the picture of a Fiat Multipla. Look at that.
Oh, I can't unsee that. It looks like the back of John Merrick's head. Yes. That's when people came and laughed at me when I was in the circus. Oh, my life, look at that.
There you go, the auto equivalent of a GIMP mask. Ooh, yes. Naughty. So we picked cars from the top 20, and as ever, it's a choice of A or B. So eyes down, look in. Question number one. In at 18, and only 18, is the Jaguar E-Type.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It was designed by a man called Malcolm Sayer.
Yes.
But what was his previous job? Was it A, an aircraft engineer, or B, a fashion stylist? An aircraft engineer or fashion stylist?
Right. I have a feeling that the E-Type. Okay, I might be thinking about the SS. One of those cars was designed during World War II.
Oh.
Right. And there's a theory that he ran out of stuff to keep the hood on top, so the hood was weighted down with lead shot from shotgun shells. I think he was a fashion designer.
Oh, after all that, you went for fashion designer.
No, was he really? Okay.
No, he was an aircraft engineer.
Ah, wow. Okay.
He went for the British Aircraft Corporation, and that's what he did, and he designed the E-Type Jaguar.
Okay.
I thought after all that, I thought, yes,
he's going to guess that. Yeah.
And then he went for the opposite. No.
Well, my theory was that if he was designing aircraft, it would be before he designed that. An aircraft in the 1930s didn't look like that.
This is true. Okay, question. So you're one down.
Never mind.
You need to equalise with this one.
I need to win that picture of the Multipla. The trouble is, if I win that picture of the Multipla and I put it in a frame, I put it on my wall, will it make all the other artwork on my wall look ugly? Will it infect it?
Possibly.
It
We'll see.
looks
We'll
like a
try.
child designed that.
They did. Look at it.
An Italian child. It's horrible. I do hope
This
I
is
win
why
it.
it's the prize.
Yeah.
Question number 2. In at
Uh-huh.
number 16 is the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Citroen DS.
Oh,
Now,
je t'adore, la
what
voiture.
was the reason why it was called the DS? Is it A, was it the designer's initials, or B, it sounds like the French word for goddess?
Mm. Traction Advance was the car before that. The XM was the car that followed that. I think it's the name. I think it's the name of the designer.
Oh, that was incorrect. No,
Ah,
the French word for goddess is DS. So
yes. See, if I had my
DS,
wife with
DS.
me, because she speaks French.
Should know. Yeah, you could ask her, or
Damn,
you could call her and say you've learnt some French. No,
I've
no.
learned some
So
French now, which I'll.
yes.
I did not know that. There you go.
Ah,
Beautiful
there you
car.
go.
Beautiful car.
In at number 12 was the Mercedes 300 SL.
Yes.
It
Lovely.
featured.
Gullwing.
Come on, you've got to score this one.
Yeah.
It featured gullwing doors, but what was the reason? Was it A, the engineers demanded stronger door seals, or B, the designer was just simply too fat?
I think it's A.
It is A, yes, you're absolutely right. Back on the board. There you go.
And it
It
cost a
wasn't,
fortune, and I think Picasso had one. And if you have one of those now, you are a very rich man.
and a
It
lucky man.
well,
Indeed.
it's the sad thing was, I think we did a feature on it on the program last
Yes.
year, and you could have bought one of those for about the same price as a Cadillac, and the
Yeah.
same Cadillac would be worth $20,000, and that thing is worth £1,000,000. If you, the lot were imported to America. If
Mm.
you've got one of those, you're a very, very lucky person. Fantastic looking car.
Bear that in mind for a question coming up later on.
Will do.
Okay, so correct answer there. Number 4, in at number 11 is the AC Cobra
Nice.
47.
Yes.
Who said about it? You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, but you can make it a mighty fast pig. Was it A, Carol Shelby, or B, Lee Iacocca? Carol Shelby, think of it.
I think it's Shelby.
It is. That's
Uh,
why it's absolutely right.
yeah,
And then it
yeah.
became known as the AC Shelby Cobra.
Yes, of course.
There you go.
Iacocca, of course, was one of the guys who heavily promoted it, and of course, I forget the name of the British the driver from Birmingham who.
I can't remember his name. I was doing this in the research as well, but
Okay, of
I forgot what his name is as well. Not
course, a
Lee.
British.
Um,
Yes,
Ken Block.
Ken.
Not Ken
Yeah,
Block. No, Ken Block was the
Ken.
Ken Miles.
Ken
Ken Miles.
Miles. Ken
Ken Block's
Miles.
the stunt driver. Ken Miles it was. Okay, correct. Yes. So two each there.
Yay! Might
At
win
number
that
5,
picture.
at
Yeah.
number 10 is the Ferrari 365 GTB 4, otherwise known as the Daytona.
Daytona, beautiful. Again, yeah,
Uh,
you've got it there. Perfect. Hold it there.
yep.
Yes. And
Ferrari.
I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry,
And
go
you spent. Ferrari sued a production company for using an imitation Daytona for which TV series? Was it A, Miami Vice, or B, Magnum PI?
Oh, Miami Vice.
It was Miami Vice.
Yeah,
Very well.
Miami Vice.
For bonus point, do you know what car they actually built it on?
Corvette.
It was a Corvette. Very
Yeah,
good. Well done.
yeah, definitely. But how can that be a copyright infringement if you? I assume they used some sort of kit car.
They said, yeah, so they said it infringed on not being a proper endorsed kit car. So, yeah, there you go.
Try that with the Chinese. See how far you get.
Well on the way to get the fit multiplier.
Mm.
Okay, question number 6.
Uh-huh.
It's a little known sports car company called Bizzarini. It's the Bizzarini GT
Okay. Yeah, nearly
5300.
there. Nearly there.
Its
Yeah.
designer,
And nice.
was Giotto Bizzarini. But
Yes.
who was the chief mechanic for? Was he a mechanic for Maserati or Ferrari? A, Maserati, B, Ferrari.
This is me taking a wild stab in the dark.
50-50.
I
Yeah,
think it's Ferrari.
absolutely right. It is
Yeah,
Ferrari.
it looks like a Ferrari.
It does look like Ferrari. Absolutely right. Well
Beautiful
done.
car.
Question number 7. The Alfa
Hmm.
Romeo 33 Stradale makes
Nice.
it to number 4 on their list.
Ooh.
What does the word Stradale mean? Does it mean
Mm.
in Italian? This is.
Yes.
Does it mean A, road going, or B, sexy?
Stradale. Strada meaning street means road. The first one,
It is
roadworthy.
absolutely right. Road going.
Strada,
It doesn't
road
mean
going.
sexy at all.
No.
Absolutely right. So you're well on the way. Two questions
Okay.
to go. Three questions to go. Number 8, the Anglo-American Ford GT40 is what we're talking about
Oh,
next.
yes.
Perhaps one of my favorite cars of all time. But which version? Now this is not an A or B question, but which
Okay.
version was the only all-American version? Was it the Mark 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Let's say 4.
Absolutely right. That's a good question to
Hey.
that. Because all the others, of course, were British.
Yes. We had
British
this argument
design,
with somebody
British
online the
makes.
other week that were going,
Yes.
oh, it's an American car. No, originally British car, British car, British car, British car, driven by a
Yes.
British man in Le Mans, who effectively won it, and it was only stopped by Henry Ford II.
Yes.
Stupid man. British, British, British. Like good things. British.
Yay!
Like his rear tail lights. Made
Question
by
number
Germans.
question number 9.
So,
In the runner-up spot is the Ferrari 250 GTO.
oh, nice.
Beautiful, beautiful car.
Nice.
When it went on sale, so we were talking about the Gullwing earlier on. When it went on sale in the United States, how much did it cost?
Go on.
Was it A, $18,000, or
Yeah.
B, $50,000?
I'm going to say it was $18,000.
And you had to be approved by Enzo Ferrari himself. You're absolutely right. $18,000
$18,000. So I'm
to
guessing
buy
this is
this
the
car.
60s.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean, I think
absolutely.
in the 60s that was the price of like a top of the range Cadillac or something. But
Yeah.
that Cadillac now, even if you had it all done, probably you'd be lucky to get 50. What's that thing worth? Half a million?
If
Million?
not more than that. Yeah.
2.3?
Yeah. That's what we're looking at.
I had a friend of mine is really into classic 60s cars, and he collects magazines from that period.
Yeah.
And he says, you look at the prices of like a Mark II Jag, and
Yeah.
it goes up against prices of Mercedes Gullwings and Ferrari. He's like,
Yeah.
it's difficult. I don't think back then you knew these things were going to make so much money in 30 years, 40, 50 years time. But they have.
Absolutely.
But they have.
There you go. So we can safely say you have won the picture. But
Hey!
last question.
Oh, hang on. Okay.
No, it's safe. You've definitely won the picture. So
Good.
last question. In at number 1
Yes.
is the Lamborghini Miura.
Oh, likey. That's nice.
It featured a transverse mounted V12 engine.
Okay,
but
nice.
But it is acknowledged as being what? Is it A, the first car to be built out of carbon fiber, or B, the world's first supercar?
Oh, I'm going to go for B. It's world first supercar.
It is indeed the
Yes,
world's first
nobody
supercar.
builds. I can't believe they built it out.
Absolutely right.
Fiberglass
So
is
there
for
you go.
losers. Yay!
But this is
I'm
yours.
so pleased. Thank
Look
you.
at it.
Yeah, I can.
Look at it.
I'm going to get a T-shirt made. Forget my Blue Oyster Cult T-shirt. I'm instead going to get the multipler T-shirt. Look at it. It's like
Imagine waking up to that every morning.
it's like a car ate another car, isn't it? It's like somebody got drunk and what did you do last night? I welded two cars together, and that was the. It's a monstrosity that should only be used for ferrying children to and from. Actually, it's got 2 sunroofs as well.
It has.
Actually, your kids could stand up in the back and pretend they're tank commanders during World War II,
Mm.
or be giving the Hitler salute as they drive along past crowds of
Or just an easy way to
unenthusiastic
escape.
conquered countries. What? Sorry.
Or
Yes,
just an easy way to escape.
The custard. Do you think that? What would you like it in, sir? Do you have it in the custard? Oh, we do have it in the custard, sir. Fantastic. Put me down for one of those. It looks like a boil. Wonderful car. That's it from the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to go and have another COVID test because I love shoving things up my nose. Not really. Yes, and we'll be back next week, hopefully, if we're still alive. Thank you very much. Have a very good week. Shall I get some music to play us out with?
Yes.
Oh,
Get in touch with us. Get in touch with us.
The usual address. There you go. There you go. That's it. Get in touch. Stay tuned. Stay safe. Stay inside. Go outside. See friends. Don't see friends. Bye.